privileged to be amongst you, and we have a topic: anger management. Actually, I don't know, somehow or the other, I try to always recollect. Do we really have a need for managing anger?
Very much so for those people who are hyper.
Yes, why? See, it's the frame of mind that takes you into that. For example, let me share with you. If you look at distance from Mumbai to Pune, it's close to about 190 kilometers. We are traveling. The distance remains the same whether you travel the first time or you travel the fifth time. Why does our attitude change? If the road is good, no traffic, you're moving at a pace, you feel happy about it. Do you get angry if you reach Pune earlier than what you expected to? What happens when the situation changes, which is not in your control? Traffic jam, accident, rain, maybe a rock slide, and you're delayed by a couple of hours. What is the first thing that comes into your mind? When will I reach? Arey, what happened? Kya ho gaya? Ye sab kya hai? Government is responsible. And we reach so conclusions after conclusions, but they are not solutions. Are they solutions? Why do we get into a temperament?
Because we expect something.
Expect. Wonderful. Our expectation when we traveled was what? I should reach Pune in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. We set a mindset which says 3.5 hours. Okay. Accommodatively, we'll say, okay, 4 hours, tolerable. Because we do our balancing. But what happens when things are not within your control? There's a landslide, block. There is an accident, block. There is a traffic jam, and it's blocked. And what happens? And let me tell you, if you look upon it honestly, if most of you would know that we had a Chief Minister, Mr. Antule.
Yeah.
And he was blocked while returning back from Pune to Bombay close to 3 days. And that is why the expressway was thought about. Because those were the days when we had only single traffic movement. Upwards was single, downwards was single. Only one road, the old Ghats. And because he got jammed. If you and I had got jammed, would have happened. But what I'm saying is, the temperament even in the parliament or in the assembly went bad because the chief minister was blocked. And there was no rescue. Alternatives could not be developed. Anger. I would like you to tell me, if you add one alphabet to anger, what does it become? Just one alphabet.
Danger.
Danger. Just add a D and it becomes danger. But how many of us perceive this as a danger? Because we are closed on this. As soon as we perceive anger as a danger, we get our answers. How do we protect anger? There are several ways which has been prescribed medically, scientifically, naturally.
Count 1 to 10.
Yeah, there are several ways. That counting of 1 to 10 actually does not change your thing. What happens? You are deviating from that particular temperament and shifting your gears into another mode. Let us examine a couple of things that we have today to discuss on. Anyway, there are 3 things that we tell you. What do you see here? Time, words, opportunity. These are the 3 things which, when it is gone, it's gone. It never comes back. We all move in these areas where we look for home, we would like to maintain peace. Honesty. What is this one word, honesty, that we talk about?
Being true to oneself.
Sorry?
Being true to oneself.
Absolute. How often have we found ourselves to be happy when we tell someone, I'm sorry? And you mean it genuinely. It's not that you are saying sorry just because it's an escape route. Many a times we have used sorry as a escape route. And that sorry which we use as escape route suddenly becomes a temperamental reflection for the other person. Does he not get angry when you use sorry? He says, what's so sorry about? जो damage करना था वो तो आपने कर दिया, उसके बाद क्या करोगे आप? That is what we are looking at. Lovely three words which I talk about. Love. I do not mean it in the frame of sex, friends, and self-confidence. This one word, friends. How often have we identified people whom we can say they are my genuine friends? Otherwise, you have a bunch of bees all trying to take the honey out of you. These are certain things which are again very important. I would look upon it in three different dimensions. You should have a dream to succeed, and I'm sure fortune moves in automatically. Have we thought about this? How many of us have a vision ahead of us? If you don't have a vision and you find your expectations not being met, this comes as a danger to you. And when you don't have your dreams and success coming to you, you don't have fortune with you, it still becomes a depression mood. And that depression turns into temperamental. Sincerity, hard work, compassion. I have always said these are certain things which you can incorporate within your system, and you won't have what you call room available for this. Always look upon, am I going to be sincere in whatever I do? When I say hard work, I also do not mean laborious work. I mean smart hard work. And when we talk about compassion, yes, you should have consideration. I have seen in BST bus, the seats which are meant for senior citizens and disabled, young people sitting over there, and they see people walking in and they pretend to sleep. Is that the compassion that you have? Today, forget that. I'll talk about a very classic case in a branch of a nationalized bank. A manager who's close to about 48 years. Someone complained to him saying that you have a counter for senior citizen. Why is it not being used? So he says, first, I don't have enough manpower. Good. So that gentleman says, by manpower is not my headache, it's your headache. How you organize? Why do you have a counter? You know what he tells that man? ये क्या लगा के रखा आप लोग ने? Senior citizen, senior citizen, senior citizen. क्या युवा पीढ़ी को आना नहीं है क्या? Senior citizen तो गया हुआ आदमी है. So that man told him, he says, please tell me how old are you? So he says 48. He says, wait for about 11 years and you will realize what is senior citizen. Is this compassion? That man is your client, he is giving business to you, and because his presence over there is getting you your bread and butter, and this man says, क्या लगा रखा है आप लोग ने senior citizen, senior citizen. Sad, but true. How many of us have pride, greed, and anger? How can a pride destroy you?
It goes before a fall.
Absolutely. मेरे जैसा कोई नहीं है. And greed, why should he earn? I should earn. And finally, everything, as the lady said, Because certain expectations of greed were not met, certain expectations of pride and ego was not met, what comes out? मैं तेरे को देख लेता हूँ, तो बाहर आ जा. How many of us believe in these three things? Yes, spiritually though we have not interacted with God, but we have always interacted on a spiritual day. I have hardly seen anyone who is spiritually strong failing in life or falling in life. Faith, see, even a stone can create faith in you. For example, let me tell you, how often have you seen on streets a stone incarnation is created and people worship it, and from that stone incarnation it becomes a temple. And hope, everything will be. Now the new hope for election is Aam Aadmi. I hope it does not become Aam Juice. But it's a hope. Everybody is looking forward. This is just a small thing which we talk about, that the fate is installed. Tell me one thing, can we control anger? Yes. But why does it not happen? Why do we get ourselves driven towards it instead of moving away from it? Why can't we move away? Ignore. How often have we done that? By you are right, I don't have the right to fight with you. मेरे को जाने दो. क्यों जाएगा तू? मेरे से शुरू किया था, अब क्यों भाग रहा है? इसकी औलाद, उसकी औलाद. And what happens after that? That man loses his own self-control and he says, bloody fool, all this time I've been bearing with you, don't take me for a weak person. Let me give it to you. And what happens? Suddenly from that verbal talk, it becomes a physical talk. Anger, anger, anger. It's sad, but it's true. A very simple thing which we talk about, the suitcase. And God Almighty is so good about it. A man is about to die, or is already dead, and he sees God coming to him with a suitcase in his hand. Now, what thought comes into the human mind? I'm going to show you that. God said, all right, son, it's time to go. Are we prepared? Are we prepared to leave this world? Why? Attachments. Attachments. Right word, sir said. Surprise, the man responds, now? So soon? Why? I had lot of plans which are still not fulfilled. God says, I'm sorry. Enough is enough. It's time for you to go. What do you have in that suitcase? The man asks. Man is man. Will never change. What answers? Nothing but your belongings. Now look at the thought process. My belongings, do you mean my things, my clothes, my money? And what do you think the God says? No? Why? Have you interacted with him? He says, those things were not yours. They belong to the earth. Oh, poor fellow. Is it my memories? What does the God says? They never belong to you. They belong to time. Is it my talent? And the God says, they belong to Circumstances. It's the circumstances that made you talented or non-talented. Is it my friends and family? So he says, sorry, they were never yours. They belong to the path, the way you walked up. Finally he says, let me check, is it my wife and son? God says, no, they never were yours. They belong to your heart. Finally he says, God, please tell me, is it my body? So God still says, no, it belonged to the dust. Then he says, now tell me, is it my soul? Because that's the last I think I have. So he says, no, that belongs to. Full of fear, the man took the suitcase from the God and opened it to find nothing was there. It was empty. With a tear coming down his cheek, the man said, I never had anything with me. In that suitcase, nothing, though I did not have anything with me. So the God says, that's correct. Every moment you lived were only your life, not yours. Life is just a moment that belongs to you. For this reason, enjoy the time when you have to do it. Don't let anything you think your own stop you from doing so. See, what is happening is, we are so centralized in our thoughts. We want to do a lot of things, but we don't do it. Why? What stops us? Our own self. Our own selves. Because we start believing, I can't do it.
Limitations.
Sorry?
Limitation.
Limitations, maybe it should be thought limitations. For a minute, let me ask you one thing. If the lift is not working, you would find 5 people walking away from here rather than coming up. But 1 or 2 would come up. Why?
They are interested.
They know I will lose something if I don't go. The process of "Arey 5 mala chadega" for. I want to ask you, have you done your exercise today? No. Think about it. Okay, I don't say walk all the 5 stories in one shot. Stop at 1st floor, stop at 2nd floor, stop at 3rd floor, stop at 4th floor, stop at 5th floor. After coming here, sit down, have a glass of water, don't talk for another 3 minutes. Work your way upwards. What God says is that every moment had something to do which was challenging, but you did not accept it. And finally the suitcase is empty. Live now, live your life, don't forget to be happy. That is the only thing that matters. Material things and everything else that you fought for, stay here. You never carry them. And this lesson, why I'm saying is, if we had the 80% of our anger is because we did not achieve, because we did not get, because we did not earn, because we did not get respect, because we did not get our ego, because we did not do this, because. And finally the God says, you can't take anything. Did He give you something when you came here? Yes. What He gave you was a place to be alive. You came in this world, everybody around you was celebrating. You were crying. When you came into this world, you were crying. But everybody else around you was celebrating. When you depart from this world, have a smile on your face and let everybody else cry for you that they have lost you. You have nothing to take behind you. You have everything to leave behind here. Why are we in this mode? ये भी हम यही छोड़ जाएंगे. Our egos also we will leave it here. Our money we will leave it here. everything that we have earned in this journey, we are not able to take it with us. I wish I could take my bank manager with me when I part. At least ऊपर एक teller counter खोल के बोले cash. Can we do it? No. Why is this slide blank? What do you think is the next coming to you? Give your idea, no problem. Something. Why do you feel it? We have kept it blank. Okay? I have put this on as a thing. What comes into your mind? Piece of paper? Is that hold this in one hand, hold this in second hand. He's got in his right hand a piece of paper. He's also got in his left hand a piece of paper. One day, I met Money. I said, you are just a piece of paper. And the Money laughs back and says, of course I am a piece of paper, but I have never seen a dustbin in my life. True or false? It's attitude. I am talking about us. We are both piece of paper. Why is it that one is rotting where the other is exhaling? It's attitude. I tell you, anger is an outshoot of your attitude. If you believe I'm not going to fight, you won't fight. Can I have my both money back? I am asking you to understand, look at it as a behavior. Why do we believe I need to walk at least minimum 5 minutes? I'll ask, sir, he has walked a distance of close to about 12 to 15 minutes.
Yes.
Why?
So that I keep trim.
Keep fit. Keep fit. It's a way of looking at it. Whereas there are healthy people with unhealthy habits. Same place where he stays, to the same destination, he comes in a chauffeur-driven car. And this gentleman at this age will climb that 5 stories, but that fellow at half his age will go away. Lift band hai, chalo driver. We'll go to McDonald's. Or we'll go to blah blah blah. It's attitude. We all are driven by our own self. There is no chauffeur driving you towards that thing. It's your own attitude. What do you think would be the next line? Why are we not having an attitude for praise? Why are we not having an attitude for gratitude? For example, we all travel by BST bus. The conductor walks up to you, he gives you a ticket. That small word,
Thank you.
how much of appreciation he would get in his life. Why do you find police people always in this mode? Why?
Agitated mind.
They are dealing with whom? Even they see a gentleman and they believe he is a fraud. टाई पहन के क्या मेरे को शराफत दिखा रहे हो क्या? It's the environment that they have gone into. And let me share with you, one day I was at Gamdevi police station. A mill worker was called to the police station. Now you know the mill worker, how they come, they have a small cloth bag in which they put the khana and you know, etc. So he put that under the chair before going to the boss. Suddenly someone saw that bag over there. And you know what happened? Bomb squad was called. There's so much of panic and fear itself in the police station that it's because nobody realized, everybody believed if someone has done it, it's planted. It's assumption. And when you talk about assumptions, I always say S of you and me. S of you and me. It's assumption. You see a matchstick? It has a head but does not have a
Brain.
brain. Why? You just ignite it. But we are the same. We are the matchstick. Someone ignites us. In spite of we having a brain, what happens to us? We lose out. We always tell people that get into a mode where you are away from all these three C's: criticize, condemn, and complain. These are the three dirty C's. How often have we learned to say no when we want to say no? Choose a job you love and you will not have a day of anger in your working life. It's because we make wrong choices that we get into the anger mode. Think ahead, anticipate, okay, fine, I will fail. So what? First attempt in learning. For me, when I talk about fail, I always say it is the first attempt in learning. Organize your mind, change what you can, and accept the change what you can't. We have always been trying to change other people, but we are not willing to change ourselves. Stupid questions also you can ask. Why? Because from there we are able to get a lot of answers. Say sorry at the right moment to reduce the anger of others. For every 10 minutes you are angry, you lose 600 seconds, which is too huge. Short pencil is better than a long memory. Use it to reduce your anger. Nobody can make you angry without your own consent. The most common occupational disease for a poor executive is inability to listen, and invariably it turns out into an anger mode. Never reply to a letter when you are angry, even if it's a love letter. Nobody can disgrace us other than ourselves. So why do we get angry? It is called luxury, in which only man of abundant means or absolutely no means can indulge. Though we call it luxury. Never go to bed with an argument unsettled. That's the new generation. Expectation, ma'am said it, breeds frustration, and frustration breeds anger. That's where your word comes in. Make common sense your best friend to reduce your anger and the anger of others. Sometimes this common sense, we lose it to commonness. If all else fail, lower your standards, make you less angry. You want to make money, you want to earn money, you want to change your world, you want to change your lifestyle. But if you don't get the money, what happens? See what happened when the whole world faced the American recession. Dubai, people have left behind their Mercedes-Benz at the airport, left the keys inside, and have taken the route back to Mumbai or India. Why? There, if you falter to pay your EMI, you're put behind bars. And that's where they left behind. They left behind all the luxuries. They said, hell with it. I don't mind. And the people who had financed it, they came and collected the vehicles and whatever else they had to do, they did to settle the financial things. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, can we not lower our standards? See, it's sad. Today I tell people, if you look upon certain crises coming into the family, it's because we want to shift into a big flats and 1 crore. Have you thought about 1 crore flat if you is financed to you, let's say even if 70 lakhs is financed to you, you are paying close to 70,000 rupees a month as your EMI. And as your life keeps growing, your health keeps falling, the money will constantly remain the same, that 70,000 will not change. But what happens? Your expenditures become surmounting, and there will be one time when a break will come where you will not be able to pay your EMIs, and then what happens? Bank sitting on you, family sitting on you, children sitting on you, everybody sitting on you, and what happens to you? Hell with it, some of us commit suicide. That's when you have crossed the level of anger, you start moving towards a different world.
I wish many youngsters were there at this point of time.
No, ma'am, even if you tell the youngsters today also, the vision is blocked. The vision is blocked. You ask them, my son's here, he's a youngster. You ask him today, he will say, my growth is 30% income every year. But that 30% income that you are growing every year, if you look upon the growth of cost, it's as high as about 40-50%. I was just discussing today and we heard that the second most expensive city in the world is Mumbai after New York.
I thought Tokyo.
New York. It's Mumbai now. See, you get into any restaurant, let me share this with you. You get into any restaurant, I'm not talking about a classy one, I'm talking about the ones in which you and I go. Do we get a dish less than 150 rupees over there? And in that 150 rupees, what is our satisfaction level? Why are we driving ourselves towards that? Because we can't help it. We can't help it. We've started adapting that cultural life. Look at our forefathers. They were happy with, sir will tell me, a cup of tea and bun maska. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And yes, you are right. There were so many times when it used to be shared also. Two people are there, we used to have 2 cups of tea with one bun maska.
50-50.
50-50. What I'm saying is that satisfactions are gone. Today you go to, what do you call that, cafe bar?
Cafe coffee.
Cafe coffee day. You drink coffee at what, 60 rupees? And if you go into a medicine shop and ask him for a Nescafe bottle, it will cost you 60 rupees. How many cups will you make out of that one bottle? Minimum 20. 60 rupee bottle, 20 cups, add milk, everything. How much does that coffee work out to? But why? Look at that, people are waiting in lines over there for a table to get over. As if they've come for a reception, you know. But why? Why this indulgence? Finally, where do we end up? In what zone? In a temperamental zone. Frustration. Where does it lead to? And where does it start from? As you rightly said, the younger generation. Do you know McDonald's makes more money than 2 or 4 Udupi restaurants put together in that area? Earlier, sir would also know, and I would also know, I know as a child in Pune, I was with Bishop School, and on the main street there used to be a Madras coffee house where I could take a sada dosa for 15 paisa. Those days we had those 15 paisa and a masala dosa for 25 paisa. And if I add a 5 more paisa, probably I get a coffee, a Madras coffee. Excellent. Same place is there today. You go over there, it's 45 rupees for a masala dosa and 15 to 20 rupees for a coffee. What has changed? I want to ask, what has changed?
Value.
Lifestyle. Lifestyle. And who changed it? We. And finally, who are the people who get angry? We. Why? We are not willing to accept responsibility. When we deviate, what we do? Break from our own shoes and create a new shoe which is called angry shoe. And wonderfully, let me tell you, movies. Amitabh Bachchan has been projected as a young man. And people have inculcated that. I am also like Amitabh Bachchan, angry young man. Arey Baba, he is fictitious on the screen. If he tries to do all that on the streets today, what will happen to him? Which hospitals, Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital, which is that Leelavati Hospital would be booked for him. He can't do it, we can't do it, but we are aping him. Why? We have lost our sense of thinking. We have lost what we are. We all believe we can do it and we want to do it, but we can't do it. It is sad, but true. This is an environment, you are in between, and this is more towards the work environment. So I'm showing you the bullets which are, which is the first bullet that comes to you? Other people's behavior. Supported by a negative environment, a negative perception of the worldview, changing environment. We are talking about global warming. What's happening? Actually, it's a global warning rather than warming. Our past experiences, and we have a very different kind of a determination or determining theory. For example, let me ask you, if you have to walk from here to Mumbai Central Station, how many steps would it take us? Never calculate.
Never calculate, but that time it might not be more than 7 minutes.
Time factor is an assumption. But even if I tell you to assume, how many steps would you take to reach the station? It's difficult. Why?
Awareness.
Absolutely. We have not channelized ourselves. And sometimes what happens, even if you want to do it, half the way something else comes into your mind and you've forgotten your count. Negative work environment. In this work culture, there is nobody who wants to stay behind. Everybody wants to go one step forward. Hell with you. मैंने कर दिया है. Too much work, not enough help. You all, अरे कितना काम कराएगा मेरे पास? मैं कोई गधा आदमी हूँ क्या? I'm a donkey. Boss है. He will always give me deadlines which are unrealistic. Of late, I know because I had been a consultant with a cooperative bank, and the staff of cooperative bank in those days started getting attracted by the work knowledge, and they started joining HDFC, ICICI, etc. A couple of months later, they came back to us. कि नहीं यार बहुत हो गया, I want to come back to you. So why? What happened? Says there we have a starting time, but there is no time by which we can say we want to go back. So this is what's happening in the environment. Budget constraint. You were traveling earlier by air, now travel by train, and that too not by air conditioned class, by Janta class. Competition, the markets are getting so wide open. All this is leading where? Yes, this is true. Let me tell you, the corporate culture is started to get into this mode where the management is pathetic and the directions are zero. It's just follow the rules. And job insecurity is very high. Other people's behavior. What do you see here? Claims, walking wounded, people are bulldozers, explorers, brown, what do you call this? Brown nosers. Brown nosers are, I can smell a rat, but there is no rat. Winners, backstabbers, negative people, patronizers. Arey, I am yours truly. That's only in the application for the form of getting a job. After that, that yours truly is lost. Then you have snippers. अरे मेरे को ये खबर मिली है, मालूम है क्या? कंपनी बंद होने वाला है. Controllers, complainers, these are all behaviors which are affecting us. Shuffers, we want to move out. Change. It always challenges our new paradigm. Change also alerts you the way to think. But how many of us change positively? Because the whole exercise of this is to change positively. Make life more difficult or for a while. Yes, life is becoming difficult every day. Causes stress. This stress is a new disease which has come into the corporate, into the recent world. It was never there probably when Sir was working. Did you ever have work stress? Is an ongoing fact of life. This changing environment, you have to accept it. You can't bear with it, but you have to accept it. The other day I was surprised, I took a bus from Nana Chowk to Fountain. It cost me 10 rupees. On returning, I took a train from Churchgate to Grand Road, more or less the same amount of distance, 5 rupees. What is, can there be a logical answer for this? Why one is double that? The distance are same, areas are same, but why is it that one is costlier than the other? And both are government owned. But it's a fact of life. You have to bear it. Can I tell that conductor, नहीं मैं तो 5 ही रुपया दूंगा, ट्रेन 5 रुपये पे लेके जाती है. What will he do? Physically throw me out.
Go by train.
Or am I so good that I will tell the railways, अरे नहीं यार आप 5 रुपया क्यों लेते हो, 10 रुपया लो. मैं तो BST पे तो 10 रुपया देता हूँ इतने. It's a fact of life. The only person who always likes changes is a wet baby. Past experiences. We all have several past experiences which I keep telling my son also of my past experiences. He tells me, Dad, you were born in those area where you had only you could not calculate machine. Calculators also. You had to manually calculate. Today I do it on my smartphone. That's the change. All experiences are past. Media frenzy. Sir, Virat Kohli is today how old? 23. What's his annual income? 150 crores. Why? मीडिया ने चढ़ा दिया उसको. 2 साल के बाद क्या होगा? Sachin Tendulkar could build a house which was for 300 crores. And he believed in having those shells on the wall and all kinds of luxury. Who brought them? Media. We are today getting attracted. Why do we sometimes decide, okay, I want to go and have dinner in this house once in a month, let me go. We get carried away with the media driving you towards it. Crime down 20% in America, reporting up 600%. Look at what you are looking at. They are talking about crime rate dropping, whereas in reality, it's so high. We just had a railway accident where we had this fire. Can we believe 9 people died? It's the figure that they are quoting. It would be more than 90, I'm sure. If 3 bogies, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 and 3, if they are burned, and each bogie has got close to about 70 people in it.
Wow.
Around? So if out of 200 people, if you tell me 9 people died, is it a believable? No, it's not. But determination here. My grandparents did it to me. So what are you doing? You are inheriting. Psychic. My parents gave it to me. So that's your upbringing. And environmental. My spouse, my boss, my company, my economy is doing this. It's the surrounding. See, today parents are telling children, stop going to colleges, yeah. Play cricket. Get into dancing. Why? Because they feel that's where the money is.
Sweet money.
Yeah, I don't know how quick it is, but it's there.
It's quick and it's big.
I want to ask this question. Are there some people who are born positive thinkers? Yes. Yes. There are. Why? Because they are very logical in whatever they want to come out. I suffered a cardiac attack 2 years back. I was hospitalized in Bhatia Hospital and I was asked to go for angiography and bypass and blah 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 blah. All that, you know. So I went up to my doctor, I did a little bit of my homework and I checked with 5 international leading cardiac surgeons and I found that my case was not that serious that it needed that. But I still went up to my doctor and I asked him, I said, tell me one thing, how much would it cost me? So he tried to enhance it and tell me 28 lakhs. I said, fine. I said, for all practical purposes, let me understand, if I don't do it, and I just remove 3 lakhs of rupees from that and make it 25 for mathematical purposes, if I put this for 10 years with a bank, it will double? So he says, yes. I said, good. Now tell me, today is 2011. If I do this exercise of operation and spending this money, will I live till 2021?
No
He
guarantee.
says, no, I can't. Okay, I said, fine, perfectly all right. Since you said that this 25 lakhs can become 50 lakhs in 10 years, I am giving this 25 lakhs to you. In an event, if something happens to me before 2021, money is yours. Nothing happens, you double it and give it to me. Again he says no. Now what is he confident on? Whether I will survive or whether I will die? I asked him. I said, let me understand, what are you trying to tell me? And you see me today standing here, 2 years later. Okay, certain disciplines, yes. Medicines that need to be taken, precautions that need to be taken, stress to be reduced, maybe climbing the stairs to be done in. I stay on the 3rd floor in an old Parsi building which is close to about 5 stories. And I do it daily up and down, cautiously. So we need to understand where this positive thinking comes is how do you apply your logic. It is very important. It's not by choice, let me tell you. By choice, yes. If you want to stay within the rhythm of life that you have to stay, yes, if I can afford luxuries, I'll have luxuries. If I can't afford luxuries, why should I go overboard for luxuries? That's my choice. According to you, which is the right luggage? The one on this side or the one on my side? Very difficult. Would you like to dodge bullets? Or would you like to be
Bulletproof.
absolute? I showed you the bullets in the beginning. While dodging, we must remember there's going to be one bullet that's going to hit the eye. See what's happening now? This comes when you change internally. External changes are going to happen. You shift from a chawl residence to a one-room apartment, from 1 room to 3 room, from 3 room maybe to a row house, or maybe a farmhouse, whatever it could be. That's all external changes. when you're putting this armor on, there are three things that we look at: your attitude, your behavior towards the attitude, and the thinking, and it keeps working in that same circle. Where you start thinking, you put your attitude, you put your behavior. When you put your behavior, think whether it's right, and attitude. And invariably, this change takes place from within you. How often do we accept this? I am responsible for who I am, for what I have, and what I have to do. We are. Inka kaam tha sab. He was supposed to do it. I was not told. I knew he was doing it, but I was not told to do it. For example, I really appreciated, if you recollect, in one season we had that heavy rainfall and everything was paralyzed. People came down on the streets with their own biscuits and tea and whatnot, and they offered to the people who were stranded. Did anyone motivate them? They took the responsibility. There was no corporator, no lawyer. I saw people standing near that gutter and diverting the traffic. Okay, please go this way, there is a gutter. And they were all standing drenched. It's the responsibility for who I am, what I have to do, and do what you have to do. Step 2, you need to take control. It's you. And all these are the wheels moving across you. The ownership, the values, the mission, the discipline, and it all comes from within you. Thinking, change comes from observing logically in every situation. I told you about my logical talk with the doctor. How many of us would talk like this to a doctor? Why? Because I showed him the logic. I said, if I put 25 lakhs out of 28 lakhs, I'm removing 3. And I put 25 lakhs, am I not going to get double in 10 years? If I survive, you are not willing to take. Will I die? You are not willing to commit. What do I do? Observe your thinking. So many things that are going to be there within you. How often do we do this? Have a chat, have a 20-minute, 30-minute talk to yourself. Henry Ford, a gentleman, he says, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Very right. If you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, don't bother about it. Don't break your head on it. You are right. That's thinking. Behavior. Some people have fake behaviors. You need to assess, determine, and discipline yourself. How true are you to your behavior? Which behavior would you choose? Reactive or responsive? Asking, just
Responsible.
sure.
Sure.
And if I prove you wrong?
You are free.
This can stimulate only a response, whereas this stimulates your choice and it's my response. And finally, we say influence your environment with a positive behavior. That's why, in fact, our blood group also says be positive.
Be positive.
These are some of the things that you can do. Spread smile. Positiveness can be sprinkled around. Focus on good for each day. Stay out of the feeding frenzies. Where people come and feed you with blah 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 blah. And say please and thank you. Most important is practice empathy. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Like Poros and Sikandar. when he lost, he was told, he says, if you have to treat me like a king, not like a lost warrior. Finally, evaluate your behavior. This is what we call self-talk. I was once in a corporate training telling a gentleman that you need to do a good deed every day. And it doesn't mean that if you don't do it the next day 2 times. But he said, no sir, I did it twice today. I said, what did you do? I took the blind man from one side of the road to the other and brought him back. Is that a good deed? Never miss an opportunity to compliment. That creates encouragement. You've done a good job. Or even if he's not done a good job, tell him the way you did it was good. Would you mind if I tell you how you could improve on it? But 9 out of 10 what the boss says, अरे तुमसे होगा ही नहीं, तू बेकार आदमी है. अरे बेकार आदमी है तो क्या means? Why have you absorbed me? Why have you recruited me? Why have you hired me? But invariably you need to show him a way, compliment for what he has done, and show him a way how he could become better. Remember, watch your definitions. They become thoughts. Watch your thoughts, they will become words. Watch your words, they will become actions. Watch your actions, because finally they become your destiny. And when you meet the Lord Almighty, you may find a suitcase which is not empty. The choice is yours. Choose again the 3 components I told you: attitude, behavior and thinking. Have a wonderful day and enjoy.